Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce. The title of this video is not clickbait. YouTube is systematically deleting my channel one video at a time. And the reasoning they're giving behind every deletion is getting less and less believable. Today's video was supposed to be about all the cool stuff I did while at the 2025 GOA convention. But unfortunately, I've got to talk about this because YouTube has deleted not one, not two, but three of my long-standing videos that are years and years old that have done very well for my channel. They've deleted them, poof, like a fart in the wind. The first one they deleted earlier this week was basically me going through the process of purchasing a firearm on the internet. I basically said, you buy it on the internet seller ships it to your local gun store, and then you have the background check to make it legal. That's basically the gist of the video. The reasoning they told me that they took that one down was because it facilitated the sale of firearms. I mean, that's a very big stretch. The second video they took down was my Mosin Nagant comparison video where I showed the old Mosin Nagants versus the finished Mosin Nagant. I did not tell anybody what they cost. I did not tell anybody where I bought them. It was just poof, again, like a fart in the wind, gone. And they had the same reasoning because it facilitated the sale of firearms. I'm not a firearm salesman. I do not sell anything. I have kept every single firearm I have ever purchased. But the third video they took down just today was called How to Start a Stubborn Deuce and a Half. Does that sound like I'm trying to sell firearms? Of course not, only a moron would think that. So I have that video right here on my card and we're gonna watch it together. We're gonna watch it together, I'm gonna have some commentary on the video itself, and they gave me a timestamp telling me where in the video I tried to facilitate the sale of firearms. There we go, beautiful. Or at least as beautiful as a Deuce and a Half can get. Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce and Guns. If you remember from last video, I had issues getting the old Deuce started because of the unseasonably cold weather we were having, which is very unusual for this region. So I had to actually use the ether start system that's been equipped on this truck. It's been equipped for as long as I've owned it. It came with that. And it was the first and only time I've ever used the ether start system. I'll lower that down a little bit, that buzz. Everyone hates the buzz on a Deuce and a Half, but that's how you know your air system is down and you lose your brakes. And you do lose your brakes when you lose your air. So I figured this is a good time to go over the cold weather starting aids that were available with the Deuce and a Half. Now the military used three different types of cold starting aids. The first one was no cold starting aid whatsoever. It was basically up to the operator and a can of ether. Now I'll go over how each one of these is used later on. The second option was the manifold heater, which basically shot a flame into your engine through the manifold. And the third option, which is what this truck is equipped with, it was the ether start system, which basically dumps a thimbleful or so of ether into the intake. If your Deuce does not have one of these starting aids, then you're going to have to use starting fluid if it's too cold to get it started. Now what a lot of people will do is take the ether starting fluid and spray it inside the actual mushroom cap, the actual intake mushroom cap. I'm sure it has an actual official name, but a lot of people just call it the mushroom. Did you catch that? That was the 1 minute 28 second mark that they feel is pertinent to me selling or facilitating the sale of firearms. I'm talking about the air intake and the fact that it's called a mushroom cap. I don't know, is that a problem? I don't know any firearms called mushroom caps. Do you guys know? Because I don't, and I've been in the firearms industry for over 20 years. Cap, and it's on the side of the engine. Now, this covers the actual intake going into the engine and into the air filter. So a lot of people will just spray it inside here. I'm not going to because it's actually about 65 degrees right now. So I'm not going to spray this in here because my Deuce don't need it right now. But you don't want to ether when you don't have to, trust me. Run around and start it. Some things go boom real quick. Put together a straw that actually goes through, they'll crack the windshield open a little bit. You know how this windshield can swing out. They'll crack the windshield open and actually feed this straw straight down through over the hood, down the fender, and into the actual mushroom cap and give it some squirts while they're trying to get it started. Now let's take a look at the manifold. The guy I saw doing that was smoking while he was doing that. To the GoPro camera. I didn't want anything part of that. Shot of the engine. So let's go ahead and go in here, and of course we have the engine itself, the intake, and the actual manifold right there. You can see this is the ether start system right there. Under a manifold heater system, that hole right there would be plugged. Now I do have the plugs closed for the actual manifold heater, so let's show you that right now. I've now moved you over to the side so you can see a little bit better of the back side of the manifold. There's the... It's just engine stuff. Big engine stuff, but it's just a DEUCE.5 engine. They made hundreds of thousands of them. You would put an actual glow plug right there, and then right oh, is that the issue? Injector that would inject diesel into the... I'm using a 762 by 54R cartridge as my pointer. Is that the problem? Because if that's going to be the problem, then why am I being singled out? Which I'll get to that here near the end of the video. More than a couple of times in its entire lifetime. So I'm not really concerned about finding them, but I've heard they're kind of obsolete now and only used by tractors and things of that nature, farm machinery. Not actual big rigs. They've kind of gone on to bigger and better things. So you probably won't be able to find them at truck stops anymore, but you will find them at tractor supply places, John Deere. Now basically, I've actually never seen one. I was told I've still not seen them. Look at that right there. That is the actual metering device down there. And when you pull the switch in the cab, it empties about a thimble or 2 thimbles full of ether into the bottom chamber there, which is sucked through that little tube right there probably half to the actual nozzle that I showed you earlier. Doesn't take much. The intake. And here are the instructions. Use only for starting. Okay. Actuate during cranking. Hold the switch 3 seconds to fill valve. If I recall correctly, I do this wrong on camera. Shot glass underneath the canister with ether. Then release the discharge shot, which is sucked into the engine, and allow 6 seconds for a shot to discharge. The instructions there are: engage heater with starter when temperature is below 20 degrees. Use heater intermittently. It's just a fire. You're starting a fire inside your engine. And overheat the manifold, maybe melt it possibly. So now you guys have a pretty good understanding of how the military expected a DEUCE to get started in cold weather. And it's pretty much a good example for all civilians who own DEUCE.5s as well. Now, Aussie Bloke, I'm not sure if you're going to... Aussie Bloke used to be a guy in Australia that owned a DEUCE.5, and we communicated back and forth quite a bit. If you have the flame heater kit, the actual manifold heater... I'm not sure how he got a DEUCE.5 because it's technically illegal to export them out of the United States. Fuel onto your turbo, because it's situated right above your turbocharger. Those eventually will start leaking. There's a seal there that will deteriorate over time and will start dripping diesel right on top of your, yes, it will, I don't know, 900-degree turbocharger. Not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. The ether start system is a more robust system, but a lot of people do like the heater flame system as well. So it's really a toss-up in what's better, or if either of them are actually better or worse than the other. Well, guys, that's it for me today. I hope you... They would also sometimes just set a fire underneath the truck and just keep it off the tires and just have the heat from the fire underneath the engine warm the engine. That's World War II stuff right there. And I guess early, I guess we're late World War I stuff, because they had some engines there as well. As always, guys, you have a great day. See ya. And here I'm getting the old DEUCE started. No ether required. I need to get that sumbitch out. You're in 4th gear, still going slow. All right, that's it. That's it. That's the video that YouTube decided I was facilitating the sale of firearms and had to be removed. I didn't get a channel strike on it, luckily, because you only get 3 strikes and they completely delete your channel, never to be seen again. I've never gotten a channel strike, but they took this down and they basically told me I was SOL. They have a button where you can appeal it to a higher court, I guess. And so I did that already, and I got a response saying that they reviewed that section at 1 minute and 28 seconds where I'm talking about the air intake on a DEUCE.5 and said that is still facilitating firearm sales and you can go piss up a rope. My next step here is, of course, to make this video and get this out to the public and reach out to YouTube on either Twitter or their direct channel, which is very difficult to do. It takes a long time and you probably won't get anywhere. I have had this issue before. This is not my first rodeo, not by a long shot. Some of you old timers may remember the Deuce and Guns channel was primarily a reloading channel. I used to have hundreds and hundreds of videos of me reloading, and I used to have a weekly show. You probably don't know that. I used to have a weekly live show on my YouTube channel, and I would sit there on camera talking to chat and reload. And that was my thing. It's like I occasionally would review a firearm. I would occasionally take the deuce and a half out, but primarily I was talking about reloading. How to reload for cheap, how to cast bullets, what gunpowders to use. Somewhere around 6 or 7 years ago, YouTube decided that reloading was against their terms of service, and I woke up to a channel that was 1/4 the size it was when I went to bed that night. I'm not exaggerating there, they honestly did delete over 300 videos and about 100 live videos that were over 2 hours long. I attempted to fight it, but YouTube and Google and Alphabet is a very large company, and I am a very small channel. I can't help but think that someone in YouTube has a personal vendetta against me, against Deuce, against me personally, and not just the firearms industry, because the same day that they deleted my deuce and a half video, they uploaded, or they allowed Brandon Herrera to upload and go live with his submachine gun video, which he calls a submachine gun throughout the entire video, which is expressly forbidden on the YouTube guidelines, and it was monetized. He had ads playing on that video. Half of my channel is demonetized, and I have never shown a submachine gun on my channel ever. I made this video for several reasons. Number one is to use as evidence toward my appeals process going forward. I can show, hey, this was the video you took down. Show me where the firearm is. The second reason is to show the world how the YouTube rules are not being applied correctly or fairly. That is a huge trouble, a huge problem where everyone's playing a guessing game on what kind of content they can or cannot put up on the internet. And of course, I apparently can't even put up stuff about trucks. And the third reason I wanted to make this video is because I think everyone should be able to see that video. Everyone should have the privilege to see some idiot like me try to get a cold deuce started when it's snowing outside. And it is just funny, hilarious, and a good time had by all. Well guys, that's for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like, go subscribe, a lot more is on the way. And as always, you guys have a great day. See ya.